From Grace Kelly to Charlene of Monaco, including Charlotte Casiraghi, discover how the Monegasque royal family transformed into global fashion icons. This report reveals the secrets, strategies, and legacies that make the Rock a showcase of elegance. Subscribe, share this video, and leave a comment to tell us which figure in this legendary dynasty inspires you most. Every view, every like, every word counts as we bring this royal story to life with you. It all began with a myth. That of a Hollywood actress who became a princess. When Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier III of Monaco in 1956, it wasn't just a royal union that made headlines around the world. It was also the founding act of an empire of elegance. At that precise moment, Monaco became not just a small sovereign state prized by billionaires and casino gamblers. It became a global stage for fashion, refinement, and absolute chic. What happened that day went beyond a fairy tale. It was the beginning of an aesthetic legacy whose ramifications still reach the catwalks, the pages of magazines, and the spotlights of haute couture shows today. Grace Kelly was no ordinary princess. She came from Hollywood, and carried within her a sense of framing, light, and movement. She knew how to present herself to the world like a living tableau. Her understated style, sculpted by Edith Head and the greatest couturiers of her time, immediately etched itself in the collective memory. White gloves, a belted dress, an unwavering stance. Each of Princess Grace's public appearances was meticulously executed. But never forced. She mastered the rare art of creating a sense of spontaneity in a perfectly controlled image. She was undoubtedly one of the first to understand that fashion was not just a tool of seduction, it was a political language. A gentle strategy, a way of embodying modernity without upsetting tradition. Her wardrobe became an extension of princely protocol. Her Dior and Givenchy gowns weren't just beautiful pieces, they reflected status, an era, and a quiet power. When she walked the crescent or waved from the palace balcony, she redefined the codes of aristocratic femininity. She became the visual bridge between the old world and flamboyant America. She brought to Monaco what few women could offer a country, a strong, stable, photogenic, and universal image. And in her wake, the entire royal family would have to learn to slip into the golden costume she had tailored for them. After Grace Kelly's tragic death in 1982, many wondered if the magic could survive. However, far from dying out, Monegasque style has transformed. It has adapted to changing times, trends, dramas, and rebirths. Caroline of Monaco, her eldest daughter, will be a direct witness to this. She grew up in the shadow of the myth, but quickly managed to free herself from it with natural elegance and controlled audacity. In the 1980s and 1990s, she became Karl Lagerfeld's discreet muse. She embodies a new form of contemporary aristocracy, both distant and magnetic. Her looks oscillate between sobriety and controlled extravagance. She favors well-cut suits, loose hairstyles, and carefully chosen accessories. She is the spiritual heir to her maternal glamour, but with a more European, more Berliner, and sometimes more avant-garde accent. Then comes Charlene, a South African Olympic swimmer, who entered the arena of royalty through the front door. When she married Prince Albert II in 2011, comparisons with Grace Kelly were inevitable. Blonde, elegant, mysterious, yet very different. Charlene doesn't play the retort card. She imposes her own style. A cold, statuesque, often minimalist beauty. She prefers clean cuts, neutral colors, and dresses that allow the silhouette to breathe. Her look, although often described as distant, is deeply considered. She plays with the codes of haute couture as well as those of royal discretion. She loves Armani, Dior, Acris. She selects each outfit with the precision of a diplomat. Because she knows, in Monaco, image is power. And she uses it rigorously. But it is with the new generation that Grace Kelly's stylistic legacy perhaps finds its freest expression. Charlotte Casiraghi, daughter of Caroline, is the perfect example of this fusion of aristocracy and contemporary culture. A trained philosopher, skilled horsewoman, and Chanel's muse, Charlotte embodies a hybrid style, both intellectual and instinctive. She doesn't need a tiara to shine. Her allure is based on a quiet confidence, an ability to play with codes without breaking them. When she rides a horse in a Chanel jacket, she bridges two worlds that are complete opposites, equestrian tradition and Parisian luxury. She is the anti-princess in appearance, but the quintessence of royal elegance in intent. Each of Charlotte's appearances at a gala, a fashion campaign, or a cultural event is a silent performance. She carries fashion like a message. Her choices, often bold, are never gratuitous. She doesn't follow trends, she precedes them. She embodies a generation of women who don't need words to be heard. A bare shoulder, a well-cut pair of pants, a frank gaze are enough to make her a figure of aesthetic authority. And in this often scrutinized princely family, she appears to be the most modern, the freest, the most elusive. Over the decades, the princely family of Monaco has established itself as a major player in international style. But this is no accident. It is the result of invisible work, of a keen awareness of the power of image. Each member of this dynasty understands that in Monaco, one governs not only by laws, but also by clothes, by posture, by elegant silence. Fashion is a diplomatic instrument, a vector of prestige, a way to create desire and respect in a world saturated with images. Fashion houses know this. Chanel, Dior, Armani, Valentino, all have, at one time or another, invested in this alliance with the Grimaldi family. Because they find there an ideal mirror for their creations. A space of resonance, a silent legitimacy, and in return, the principality benefits from a visibility that few states can afford. Through ball gowns, bespoke suits, and subtle jewelry, an entire political and cultural narrative unfolds. A narrative where elegance is a soft weapon. A form of power that doesn't speak its name, but leaves its mark. From Grace Kelly to Charlotte Casiraghi, including Charlene and Caroline, the princely family of Monaco has transformed pomp into strategy, style into language, image into heritage. It is no longer just a sovereign lineage. It is an open-air fashion house. A living showcase of what Europe can still produce in terms of refinement, coherence and dreams. As future generations begin to appear behind the scenes of events, one question arises: who will wear the invisible crown of Monegasque elegance tomorrow, and how will they perpetuate this dynasty where fashion is much more than an appearance, but a signature?